Black magic.
You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you wanna hear, tell me what you want, so just tell me what you wanna hear.
Welcome back to another edition of RatG TV with your boy Zeus and the man, the myth, the legend, the Wellandwingnut. How you doing, boss?
What's going on, man?
Not too much. I feel bad. I forgot to get the picture up, but I am wearing my old school RatG radio T-shirt. Steve's wearing a CFBU. That is because that's where we got our start, at least on radio. And the building that it was housed in, the old Welland house,
Right.
Burnt down last week. So yeah,
I had
load one up for the fine folks there.
I had a little blurb here. Yeah, built in 1853. It was actually known for quite a long time as a very famous hotel and spa that was visited by celebrities, musicians, politicians. It's been all kinds of things in between. Student housing, CFBU, of course, a frat house.
The frat house I remember the most. That's where I shouldn't say the most because, of course, we did our radio show there. But, man, do I ever remember and not remember a lot of times there.
Remember lining up.
I remember lining up a lot of times. I don't remember leaving very often, though. St. Catharines, the one good thing that we loved about it, of course, was it was quite the party city in our youth. There was always a nightclub to go to somewhere in that town. So people, we try to come up with good topics for you every week. We try to keep it relevant to especially our geek community because that's where we got our start. That Ryan's All Things Geek. That's where so many of our followers come from, especially from around the world. Now, that being said, coming up with a topic this week was kind of easy, I thought, because we had two big things happen this week in the world of Marvel, and that was the conclusion of Loki. Season 1 is all done. And, of course, the long-awaited release of Black Widow. And, so because of that, Steve and I are ranking our favorite Marvel or MCU moments. These will only be the MCU. You're not going to see anything that's outside of the MCU. We even avoided the Netflix series, even though some say they may be, but we all know they're not. And we avoided Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just because there were no moments. I'm totally kidding. I loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Will says, I'm drunk. My brother and myself are having an early birthday drink. Well, cheers to that. Happy birthday.
A little preview of my little mini bar I got here. You see I got the Jack Daniels. I got the Monster. I got the Gatorade. Plenty of water. Got to stay hydrated.
Am I the only one not drinking tonight? Still not seeing Black Widow. Well, there's going to be some spoilers tonight. I'm sorry, boys. You're going to see some spoilers. Happy early birthday, Will. I respect the drunk game. Who does not?
I haven't seen it yet either, so we'll have it spoiled together.
Well, there you go. I will do my best not to spoil it too much. I know you don't care about spoilers, so. But for those that do, you may want to mute at that point, or that's it. So that's what we're gonna do. But as always, as we ask you guys, you are quite welcome. Okay, guys, I'm watching Black Widow right now, so I'll watch later. Only 35 minutes in. Okay, yeah, no worries, buddy. Good call. Check us out later. Appreciate the support. And howdy, Will. How you doing? Now, we do this every week. We rank our stuff. But, folks, we want to hear your thoughts as well. So when it comes to top MCU films of all time, we don't just want to know, or MCU moments, we don't want to just do ours. We want to know what yours are. So feel free to drop them in the comments there. We will put them up. But we will do ours. And we always start off with the man, the myth himself, the Wellandwingnut. And Steve, tell me a little bit about your list. Who you got starting us off?
Yeah, there's definitely a theme with my list you're going to notice, and where my allegiance lies when it comes to the MCU movies. The first one being what I like to call I Am Giant Man. And that I'm speaking, of course, of Paul Rudd in Ant-Man when he goes big. There's a couple of incidences where he goes big, this one in particular. And there's another one where he's using cars like as roller skates.
Yeah, which is great. Or as a kneeboard. For those of you who haven't seen it, here, take a quick look.
Holy shit!
Spider-Man said a bad word. Yeah, man. First time I saw that, it was great. Now, the problem I had with, and not even a problem I had with that movie, is I've read the comic books, and it's so different from the comic books. Giant Man was there, but Giant Man is Bill Foster, the black dude. Have you seen Ant-Man Part 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so Lawrence Fishburne's character, that's Bill Foster. And he was there in Civil War, and he gets murked by an android Thor. Like, he shoots a lightning bolt right through his chest, and he can't even shrink himself down. So they have to like have excavators and lower him into a grave. It's pretty intense, but yeah, I like that moment, and it looked good on screen too.
Mm.
All right, what do you got up next?
Moving along, Avengers, probably my favorite movies involving the MCU, the Iron Man movies, the Avengers movies. This one was a big one. With the first time we get to see all the Avengers assemble.
Right.
I mean, that's one of those goosebump moments, you know?
Well, my son and I watched it in the theater, and people cheered. For those of you who don't remember the moment, this is it.
Avengers!
Assemble. Like, I mean, that movie, over 3 hours long, and for me, never felt like it at all. And I've watched that movie multiple times. I've watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood once. I can't get through the first hour of The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It took me days to watch Hateful Eight.
Yeah, and it probably felt like 6 days.
Yeah.
Which is bad. And we're not shitting on Quentin again. I'm just saying for perspective, you know, a 3 hour movie, people were complaining when it came out, like, oh, who's going to watch it? If it's a good movie, you don't notice, though. I didn't even get up to go to the bathroom. Like,
I say the same thing about really good foreign films. You know, when there's people are like, oh, subtitles. I'm like, trust me, it's a great movie. 20 minutes in, 5 minutes in, you won't even notice.
Yeah. And I think we'll do that as one of our topics one of these weeks, is our favorite foreign films, or best subtitled films, at least.
Yeah.
Which usually does end up being foreign films.
Yep.
And what do we got here? Kurt Jr. says, my top 5, no order. Cap uses Mjolnir. Love it. Keep it coming. And Luke says, great news about Deadpool finally joining the MCU. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds dropped that video. I wish I had it, but every time we play a video that's longer than, like, say, 10 seconds, we get muted, and then you guys get to watch us live, but nobody can watch us afterwards. So, yeah, it doesn't work out. Sorry. But that doesn't stop us from playing the small clips or from moving on to from number 2 to number 3.
Yeah, speaking of I Am Giant Man, the number 3 was a big one, you know, RDJ as Tony Stark finally revealing that he is Iron Man.
Yeah, man, an epic moment that I think everybody will always remember.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
That little smirk at the end, right? Like, and like, I know I talk about it with Hugh Jackman all the time. We're saying everyone's like, oh, no one else could ever play him. And I'm like, oh, well, he's the only one too. It's hard not to say that with Robert Downey Jr. because they've almost adjusted the comic book version of Tony to be more like Robert Downey Jr., which is saying a lot, really. But the two were very similar already as it was. Like, the only other person that I think that could have played it like as good as Robert Downey Jr., maybe not as good, but played it as well and had it in his heart, is Charlie Sheen. because very, very similar.
Yeah.
Puny God was his next one. That was Kurt's next one. Wow. Well, what's your next one, Steve?
Yeah, it's not Puny God, not yet, maybe, but next one was easy to think of.
Mm,
Came
just
to me snap.
no, you really definitely can't.
You should have gone for the head.
Like, and that moment was good, and you're even like, holy shit, he's right. He should have went for the head. But it was the moments that followed afterwards as everyone's starting to fucking crumble and go to dust. Uh, yeah, it was an intense scene. That was a really good movie, Infinity Game, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it more than
Then Endgame.
yeah, I did a lot.
Yeah,
A lot. Yeah.
nice.
And oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just as someone already said, Puny God, the Hulk smash, definitely my number one. The Hulk, I say it, anytime we talk about the MCU, the Hulk was always my favorite. So
And
this is definitely a great moment.
And I will not be bullied by that.
Puny God.
And this was another great fan audience moment if you're in the theater, because literally everybody laughed. Nobody was expecting that, especially if you were there opening night and you didn't hear any of the spoilers about it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, great job. Love that list. Can't argue with anything on that list. Luke has got a list here as well. Luke says number 5, Gamora's death. That was a big one. 4, Thanos saying should have gone for the head, as we just saw, which led to the snap. I am Iron Man. Which one, though? Oh, well, he's got I am Iron Man and Tony's death. So I guess both of them. And finally, Avengers Assemble. So it looks like we hit all of his picks there. Oh, I guess that was a bit of a spoiler on my part. Because with my list, now I don't have my list in a particular order, but I'm going to try to put them in order. This guy is one of my favorites. I know you didn't watch Loki at all, but Richard Grant or Rupert Grant? I think it's Richard E. Grant. Great actor. We've seen him forever. Plays classic Loki, and I mean, are you planning on watching Loki? You don't care about spoilers.
It's fine.
Yeah, and this happened a few weeks ago, but he had one of the best send-offs. Now he's a master illusionist, so I'm not really sure about it myself, but I still think that his send-off had some glorious purpose. See, it's not even too much of a spoiler for you. You're just like, what the fuck was that? So yeah, that's number 5 on my list, I should say. Up next on my list, there's so many different moments for us to go through in this. And of course, one of the ones that I think a lot of people overlook, and a lot of people don't give enough credit to the movie, and that's Avengers Age of Ultron, which was our introduction to Vision. And also, our chance to find out how worthy Vision was of being Avenger.
We need to go.
Right.
Such a great scene. And that movie is honestly criminally underrated. Like, there's so much going on in that.
I've always said how much I really like this one, and definitely underrated.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there, man. And I wish it would get some more love. Will says the first Thor, this drink is delicious. Another. What was that? It was delicious. I want another. Just thought Doctor Strange final fight with the Time Stone, pretty epic. Yeah. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. I agree. That's one of mine. Yeah, man. Up next on my list, number 3, This is a huge moment for MCU all around, not just for diversity's sake, but it did stick to comics as well. And for me, I just really loved the reveal of Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
Who are you? Captain America.
You're damn right it is. Is that the Black Captain America? No, it's just Captain America. So good. And I'm anxious to see. They haven't announced a second season yet, but I'm assuming there's going to be a second season somehow with those guys. And
I have a feeling it's going to be titled Captain America, Get Daddy a Sandwich.
Get Daddy a sandwich. If Daddy asks for a sandwich, you get him a sandwich. He may not be Captain America by that time. That video keeps recircling. Now, up next, there are two kind of seminal moments, I think, when it comes to the MCU in all the phases that we've had so far. And there's been some that I've omitted that I could have put in, like when Captain America first gets the serum in him and Dr. Erskine dies in front of him. Like, that was a big one where he points at his heart and says, keep that, be the good man, not the good soldier. Like, moments like that were really good. But for me, the number two moments, Will mentioned it earlier, it's this right here.
I knew it.
Good fucking movie. Great epic moment. And that's another throwback to Age of Ultron as well. Where, remember in the opening scene where they're having not the opening scene, but the follow-up to that scene where they're all at the party at Tony's house and everyone's trying to pick up Mjolnir, right? And the only one to even move it a little bit was Cap. And you even saw Chris Hemsworth be like, whoa. And then they didn't mention it again until Endgame. So I thought that was perfect. Even the fact that he went away and returned all the time stones and everything else, he brought Mjolnir with him as well. Star-Lord's dance, Luke Duff says. That was a good one, too. I'm surprised, actually, I forgot about that one. That was a really good moment. But my number one moment, I don't think there's been a bigger moment, at least for me, a more meaningful moment in all of the MCU so far than this.
And I am Iron Man.
Big moment. And you and I talked about this before the show. I never really put it together until then. The last line that he says in both his first movie and his final MCU movie is I am Iron Man. I love when they bookend shit like that. Like, I don't know if Favreau went up to someone and was like, yo, make this be his last line. But wow, just wow. Epic moment for an epic universe. Like, people want the only reason why superhero movies are still kind of the forefront of cinema right now is because of the MCU. I don't care what anybody says. Dark Knight did really well, but that was like kind of just its own solo thing. It wasn't until we had this big mega powerhouse of Marvel that kept one shared universe where they gave everybody kind of something that they wanted that we had this. And until Marvel drops the ball, I don't see that trend ending anytime soon. Spoiler alert, Kang's reveal. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. And we'll get into that actually. But was it Kang that we saw? Or did we see Immortus? I know. Steve's like, what? Kangaroo Jack? Yes. They're making a sequel. It's going to be great. Going to be fantastic. You're going to love it. Starring Jerry O'Connell and Anthony Anderson.
Please.
Playing the kangaroo, the voice of the kangaroo, Sharon Osbourne.
Touche. Book Clanny Shark in that, and then we got to hit.
Oh my God! How did I forget my boy Clanny? Yeah, man. How you forget me up on this, bitch? If anybody's gonna be in that movie, it's gonna be me. Never mind, Kangaroo Jack. It's Clanny Jack. That was Clanny Jack's voice. Really high pitched Southerner. I don't know why, but it just happens. He's older.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't know why Clanny just sounds like not Jed Clampett, but Granny Clampett from what do you call that? You know, the old people that the country folk that struck oil and then they move out west. Beverly Hillbillies. Thank you. Nobody posted it. I just thought of it. You know what it was? I thought of Jim Varney in the remake.
Right.
Anyways, now somebody's commenting. I bet you say in Venom, the mask copy moment, goosebumps. Yeah, but Venom's not MCU, not yet at least. But it's looking like it may be soon. Sorry, getting some messages here. So now, before we move on, let us get pay some bills and get those out of the way right away. Folks, if you are like us and you like to save a little bit of money without sacrificing service, do yourself a favor and switch internet providers. Maybe go for a new internet provider. Give DocNet a call over at docnet.ca. You see it right over there above Steve's head. DocNet.ca, serving Canada, all across Canada, for your home internet and home phone needs. You ask me every week how fast is it? I don't know, man. I can do this while watching TV, like watching Netflix, while my son's playing video games and on YouTube on his cell phone, all on the same Wi-Fi. And we're still going strong. So that's my proof in the pudding for you. I don't know how fast. You want to know how fast? Go to docnet.ca and find out. Tell them that RatG TV sent you. I don't know if I'll get you anything. Just tell them. docnet.ca. All right. That was the thing.
The choreography that went with that.
Well, that's my new thing. This is the Fleming women dance. I don't know why I'm disappearing so much, but my mom, my Aunt Wendy, and my Aunt Sandy, this was their dance every time they would get loaded at family gatherings.
Is there a lot of
Go into the chapel and we're gone. And I don't know why their fingers were up while they were doing it, but they're white. Anyways, you've got a 5-second movie review that you were doing this week.
I do.
And I think we're going to be in trouble here. We are Groot. Yes, we are. Tell us about your movie review this week, buddy. What do you got?
So this is a sequel. This is a sequel to a movie nobody asked for. If you saw the first one, I mean, it is what it was. You know, it's Escape Room was, you know, a Saw ripoff, basically. Instead of individual traps, these traps were like rooms. I don't know if anybody's ever been to an escape room. I've been to one in the Falls. This was not like that at all. And this sequel is Tournament of Champions. So it's all the people who have survived escape room, these particular escape rooms all over the world. And there are 2 returning cast members. Spoiler, if you saw the first one, 2 people survived. So,
oh, wow. All right. Well, so you sound pretty excited about this one. You're selling it pretty hard already. So for those of you that don't know about Steve's 5-second movie review, I put 5 seconds on the board. Steve gives us his review of said movie in those 5 seconds. So if you folks are at home already, it's time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Yeah. Jazz hands. Jazz hands. Jazz hands. I don't know why I keep disappearing. But, so, Steve, you are reviewing the movie Escape Room 2, Tournament of Champions. I mean, they went all out in that title as well. I mean, nothing generic about that. If you're ready, your 5 seconds is on the board, and you may begin now.
I swear I saw this movie already.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, it was no. I mean, it was definitely a lot more. With a second one, you got to go a little more elaborate, I guess, as far as the escape rooms, as they call them. But it was bad.
Just torture porn. Torture porn at its height. Yeah, I honestly I could never get into any of those movies. I like the Turistadas, the Saws, just not up my alley. So what would you give this then out of 5?
I would probably have to give this one. Being 2 would be generous.
Damn.
2 out of 5. Yeah.
Wow, giving it the generous 2.
Score, and then that's only because I'm a fan of the blood and the gore.
Yes, Steve is most definitely the torture porn fan out of the two of us. And you know what? Oh, what do we got here? Luke says, talking of mobile games, my bloody millennial sons keep telling me they're gamers. Grr, PC gamers are the master race. No. Consoles are the master race. We always have been. And listen, we were around for the inception of PC gaming. We did that. Oh, your wizard has gone into a forest. What would you like to do now? Turn left. Turn left. Pick up axe. Pick up axe. Like that episode of Big Bang Theory, totally us growing up. But no, it wasn't.
By the time those games were out for PC, we were already playing like Mario 3.
Right?
So
come on, and you couldn't compete with Mario 3. You can barely compete with Mario 3 now. Like I'm just saying, I don't think they've made a as good a Mario game since then. Sorry, apparently they're Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Huh. Alpha's very young, I think. I think Gen Alpha is like elementary school age.
I think it's actually Generation Alfalfa.
Okay.
I can't believe it. I can't believe they shot him.
I'm shocked, I'm confused, and don't know what to say. No comment. That was just for the two of us. Nobody else. Oh my God. It's the death of old references like that. And speaking of death, it's time for us to get into the news with This Week in Geek. Now, we teased it a little bit before the intro there, the death of comics. There's a few deaths this week, and yeah, some rough ones, buddy. You start us off as you do every week, buddy, with the bad news, and let us have it, man.
This was a tough week. And then, I don't, last few weeks, we always smoke during the show. It's something I do every day. I'm especially on the weekends. I wake up and I wake and bake all day Saturday, all day Sundays. But I had to pull out the bottle for this one, man, because this week, like you said, was rough, especially for guys our age, guys like us.
Yeah,
we lost 3 big ones this week.
Huge ones. Go ahead. First one we got there just happened, I think.
Yeah, so there was. I was actually going to do this as a story a couple weeks ago because there was a death hoax for him.
Right, I remember that.
He has had ailing health. He's had complications due to diabetes. He was in diabetic coma in December after a stroke. So his health has been dwindling the last few months. And I'm talking, of course, about the clown prince of hip hop, Biz Markie, at the age of 57.
Yeah, a spokesperson said, "It is with profound sadness that we announce this evening, with his wife Tara by his side, hip-hop pioneer Biz Markie peacefully passed away." Yeah, man.
As we're doing the Marvel show, I have my Superman shot glass out here, and
Sure.
I'm gonna do one for my boy Bismarcky.
The 1 week I don't have alcohol.
Yeah, not a lot of hits, of course. Just a Friend being one of the big ones.
Vapor.
Had a great relationship with the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Collaborated on, geez, I got it in front of me here. Check Your Head, Ill Communication, Sounds of Silence, Hello Nasty. So, I mean, I got to see Bismarcky, as we talked about earlier this week when it happened. He was just we didn't even know he was just a last minute replacement for it was supposed to be Naughty by Nature.
Yeah, and I think he did better. Actually, Naughty by Nature would be fun, though. I'm not going to lie.
So it was supposed to be them opening up for Beastie Boys. Ended up being Bismarcky. He did his set, and then he came back out afterwards, did a couple songs with Beastie Boys, and then sat in on a piano for Benny and the Jets.
Weird. But
yeah.
Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. Luke says, I did like Pong on my Atari 2600. Listen, Pong was before Atari. I think that was, what was that system? It wasn't ColecoVision. There was a system right before Atari, though, and it had those, the roller handles on the joystick.
And it had the different cards you would slide in.
Exactly. It was like the Atari, though. And he said he had all the consoles. And the Vapor. Yes, the Vapors is what I was saying, too. Bismarcky was really known for that as well. Great.
Yeah, and you know, one thing I had forgotten when I was looking through his stuff today was I forgot he was a reoccurring character, not only a musical guest, but a character on In Living Color.
Yeah, which is, he was tight with all those guys, and that's where he got the Clown Prince or whatever, right? Because he was all about the comedy and the hip hop.
Yeah,
they lost a good one there, and we lost a lot of good people from our youth, and one that you and I've met, and you were there when I met him hosting his panel, and we met him when we were youngins. I think.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was there. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, 71 years old, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, of course, who you're talking about. Former football player, played at the University of Tampa, was drafted in the 12th round by the Saints. Didn't make it through training camp, had a tryout with the Bears, didn't work out. One season in the World League, and then he made the shift to wrestling, and it was a good shift for him because ever since 1976 in the NWA, he shot right to the top. And the moment that came to me right away when I heard Paul Orndorff died, right away was Saturday night's main event, the cage match.
With who?
Yeah, him and Hulk Hogan.
He went over on Hogan, didn't he?
They both touched at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't, though.
But they didn't, right.
But they didn't, but, camera works good. Yeah, man. Well, we were talking about it, too. You had we both had I think they were called the LGN toys, or Kenner, but the big rubber fucking WWF toys.
Yeah, I think you had it right.
LJN?
LJN, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And, I remember, we had Orndorff, we had all of them. Now, what I can't remember is, and I tried to look it up, I tried to get a clip of it, and I couldn't find one with him in it. And you said you couldn't remember. Maybe someone at home, if they're our age or older, was he on Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling cartoon show? I know Junkyard Dog was. Iron Sheik, Roddy Piper, Andre the Giant, Greg Valentine, Snuka, Santana, but I don't know if Orndorff was there. And if he wasn't there, that's kind of a shame, I think, because he is one of the big rivals for Hogan and a lot of people.
So here's one for Paul.
I'm just going to smoke the longest and biggest joint ever to get through it. That's my shots for these guys. Yeah, that was a rough one, but I think especially, and I'm sure for both of us, but this next one really hurt me.
Yeah, we talk about our love of sitcoms and kind of what we grew up on. Back then we didn't really have,
Variety.
we didn't have streaming services. We couldn't watch what we want when we wanted it. So what you watched was the shows that were in reruns the most. And one of the shows that was on the reruns in the most, and we watched, during its original run. Speaking, of course, of Night Court, and that's Charles Robinson at the age of 75. He died due to cardiac arrest and multiple organ failure due to cancer. So,
Oh, too bad, man. Yeah, that's a rough one. One of those, just no matter what you see him in, I will just always think of him as Mac. Like I remember him on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, his cameos on there, and
he's one of those guys that was on, came up on a lot of shows. Had a bunch of. He was in 7 episodes of Mom, reoccurring. He was on Home Improvement.
Yeah,
reoccurring character. But his character Mac Robinson, who was a Vietnam vet, came on in season 2 and took over as the court clerk for what's her name?
I forget what Lana.
Lana, yes, Lana Wagner, yeah. And then he, a few seasons later, his Vietnam refugee who he had known when he was over in Vietnam, Quan Lee. And she was such a great character. And I was talking to my kid yesterday about this, and I was showing him clips of the Wheelers.
Data.
And I wasn't a Star Trek guy, so I didn't really know who Brent Spiner was. And it wasn't until years after Night Court was off that I even found out that was Brent Spiner. And I was
no
just
way.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, I knew. I love it, and great characters on that show too. Like they were recurring characters that ended up staying on the show near the end.
Exactly. Yeah, they took over the confectionery stand in the food court there.
Yeah, from the blind guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny too. Such a good show, and my shot. I really wanted to put this doobie out for a while. Is that the last one?
That is the last.
Our last death. Yeah. Condolences to everybody there. Big shout out to their families and to any fans out there.
Yeah, they said that he didn't currently have any involvement in the Night Court reboot or revival, whatever, but they also weren't, ruling it out. So
I was gonna say, yeah, because I think they're probably trying to do like what they're doing with Picard,
right?
Where like, okay, we'll see how well the series goes before we start inviting everyone back,
right?
Which I'm all right with, honestly. It's worked out well on Picard, I think. So, all right. Well, that's pretty cool. Well, not pretty cool, but the next story is something that is very far from cool. That happened with the Stanley Cup champions.
Oh, that would be first. Okay, yeah. Tampa Bay Lightning celebrating their second Stanley Cup in 10 months, having their second boat parade. We found out early in the week that a pitcher surfaced a huge dent in the top of the Stanley Cup. There, you can see it in the bowl there.
Yeah, it's the best picture we can get.
What's that? Sorry.
Oh, I was just saying it was the best picture we can get, folks.
Yeah, no. That's that. They were trying to not let it out, and so this picture was snapped from someone, obviously, by walking a passerby or whatnot. Ironically enough, the Stanley Cup had to be shipped back to Montreal to be fixed.
Wow.
So Tampa Bay, of course, beating Montreal in the finals. Pat Maroon finally fessed up 2 days ago and said that it was him, and it was raining, and he went to lift the cup up over his head and had slipped. He said the pitcher made it look worse than it was, and the keepers of the cup even told him right away that it's not that bad. Don't worry, they'll fix her up. So the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, and you and I talked about that earlier too. I'm sure there's been a lot worse done to that.
So my favorite Stanley Cup story, other than Mark Messier and a few other the '94 Rangers for getting in a cab while partying in New York after their win, is probably Dallas Stars winning in '99. Of course, the Dallas Stars from the Dallas area, Pantera from the Dallas area. big Stars fans, Vinnie Paul and Dimebag the late, both of them. They wanted to bring the Stanley Cup to one of Vinnie Paul's strip joints, and the was like, the Stanley Cup is not allowed to enter any establishment like that. I'm like, sorry, no. So they brought the Stanley Cup to Vinnie Paul's house and brought the strippers to the Stanley Cup. During the party, I believe it was Russ Courtnall was on the second floor balcony and decided he was going to toss the Stanley Cup into Vinnie Paul's pool and missed by a long shot and put a huge dent in the side of it.
Do you think has anything to do? Do you think they were trying to fucking pull a Tom Brady, Tampa Bay quarterback who tossed the fucking Vince Lombardi trophy from one boat to another boat, drunk out of his face, and luckily
this would have been '99, so that would have been before Tom Brady even won his first. So
what's that?
That one was 1999. So
I thought this was recent.
No.
Oh, well, I don't care then. That's old news. No, just kidding. Well, hey man, that's cool. Well, speaking of old news,
that trophy could talk.
All right. So speaking of old news, Adam Sandler said that he could have starred in Happy Gilmore, in a Happy Gilmore fighting game on Xbox. So there was going to be talks of that happening, and I don't know what happened, why they didn't do it, but he said it would have been him and the rest of the cast would have starred in the game for the original Xbox. So that's how long ago it was.
Who I would have picked. I would have been the big guy with the nail in his head.
Jaws from James Bond. Yeah, you would have. Why is it when a bunch of athletes get on a boat, it seems to go bad? Listen, you could say it goes bad for the Vikings, but it didn't go bad for any of the Vikings on that boat trip. The bad stuff that's happened to the other people. The Vikings had lots of fun on their boat.
Yeah.
That was recent. Brady tossed it to Gronk, who was on the different boat. Yeah, that was just this year. Yeah, which was quite awesome. I love seeing Belichick less Brady. I like seeing him without Bill Belichick. I really do, because I like seeing him open up and show he's not the robot everybody thought he was.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. He's not. Everyone thinks of him like this emotional, cold-blooded killer. Like he's Dexter or some shit. See what I did there?
I did see what you did there. And speaking of Dexter, the Dexter revival, of course, coming after 8 seasons. We kind of got a weird finale. A lot of fans I know didn't like it. I didn't watch it until well after it was over. I binged it. It was definitely, not what I would have wrote for the final, but it did leave it up in the air. So, of course, left it open to what we're getting now as a revival. We reported a couple weeks ago that John Lithgow will be returning as the Trinity Killer. Now we know that Jennifer Carpenter, Deborah Morgan, will be returning also. And me and you talked before the show. We figured this has got to be
yeah, right?
It's got to be in some kind of flashback capacity.
For sure. Now, it does have to be. You'd figure. There's no way that it could be actual what's happening real time, or it's going to have to have ended. Sorry, my phone's ringing now. Just like it's almost as if someone was like clamoring like cupboards in the background.
Yeah.
I should know better than to have that on.
Right.
I wish there was a way that we could have another camera in there just to always catch Amber's reactions to us busting her balls.
The Amber camera.
The Amber camera.
Amber
Oh, that reminds me. I finally saw a fucking magic dog. It was a Labracadabrador. Labracadabrador.
It's not funny.
Labracadabrador. Labracadabrador.
That's funnier than what you say it.
Right? So we talk about Deb coming back from the dead. I'm going to give a little bit of I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler free as possible. But went and saw the Black Widow movie this weekend. I thought it was fantastic. Even as a comic book fan, they took a lot of liberties with all the characters in this movie, but they did it so well, and it was written so well. Like, I made a TikTok video joking around saying that this movie was a better movie about family than anything the Fast and the Furious have ever done. And I really stand by it because they really did write some really good, wholesome moments between family, which is weird because they're a dysfunctional, not real, like they're a sleeper cell family. And yeah, I mean, it's so weird. You have to see it. I won't spoil it any more than that. I will tell you that I did give it an 8.5 out of 10. I will do a review of it. I'll put it up on TikTok, and you guys can go check it out there. But Black Widow opening weekend, $100 million domestically, $219 million total, $60 million of that off of Disney Plus. So, I mean, they can make money off of Disney Plus and not worry about pirators. Like, because that the second it's released on Disney Plus, it's released to all the pirates. It's just the way it is. One of them will pay for it and then upload it everywhere else. It's sadly the way it goes. But they proved that they could withstand that. If the demand is out there for it, people will pay for it. And I think about it though, like really, $30 to rent one of these movies. So especially if it's a movie like this, you're watching it with your family or at least one other person. You've got it for a month, and you can watch it as much as you want. You've already made your money in the first viewing, by saving money on popcorn and ticket prices.
Like, yeah, definitely saving that way. And I've been saying this for a long time, actually, that, new releases coming out the day of and, charging a little bit more. I mean, I kind of got used to during the pandemic when theaters were completely closed and we were getting $20 new releases. So $30 is kind of like, I'm that cheap old man. Now I'm like, $10 more.
Yeah. Get off my lawn.
I'll go to the drive.
Luke says Happy Gilmore game would have been epic. Rematch with Bob Barker. The price is wrong, bitch. Yeah, Happy still would have lost. Is that the sheriff from Stranger Things and Black Widow? I forget his name. David Harbour. Yes, it is. And he is awesome in this like he is in everything. I haven't seen the new Hellboy, so I can't speak on that. But I loved him in The Newsroom. Oh, my God. There's just – he's in everything, honestly. If you turn a movie on that's been made in the last 5 years, he's probably in it, especially if it's a big movie, like a big actor movie, like strong acting. And I'm down with that every single time. And it's also Rachel Weisz right beside David Harbour there, Scarlett Johansson. And the person who steals this entire movie is Florence Pugh, the farthest one on the left there, right beside ScarJo. She was in Fighting With Your Family. She played Paige, like it was based on the true life story of wrestler Paige. The Rock produced it. She's great in that movie. She is awesome in this movie, and she's that next big name that we're going to be seeing a lot of moving forward. So I highly recommend going to watch Black Widow. Yeah, and and for those of you that wonder, yeah, they get right into the Red Room and everything about the Red Room. All that stuff that she talked about in Avengers Age of Ultron. They talk about all that as well. So be prepared. Anyways, that's me turning red.
That's you turning red. Yeah, speaking of turning red, Pixar new movie coming out, which is the backdrop is our backyard, the T-Dot.
The six.
The six, as we call it. Pixar, I'm talking about, of course, Turning Red, movie about a 13-year-old girl. It's a coming-of-age movie who, when gets stressed out, turns into a big red panda.
Oh, well, that makes sense that it's in Toronto then, because they're native to Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, you're stepping on red pandas everywhere.
They're everywhere. You would think it'd be trash pandas, but it's not. They're red pandas.
It really is a problem.
It is. They're like tribbles. They're everywhere.
Big deal about this movie though. Director, I hope I get her name right. Demi Shi. It's going to be the Pixar's first Asian female director for a movie. So, and it stars Sandra Oh, who is a native Torontonian, and
Sandra Oh, man.
Rosalie Chang.
Who?
Rosalie Chang. I think a newcomer. I think that's probably the little girl.
Nice. I love Sandra Oh, man. I watched the first couple episodes of her new show. It's been on for like 4 or 5 seasons now, and I liked it. And I don't know why I didn't keep up with it, but Killing Eve is really good. She's great in that. But you remember Arliss?
I do remember
HBO show about the sports agent. Yeah. That was his secretary on that show. His secretary, and I don't do that as like they're having sex. I mean, like she was basically running the business.
Right.
Right. But that's where I first remember seeing her, and then finding out she was Canadian. I'm like, fucking right, man. She's awesome. Sandra, oh my God. Will says Bob Barker and Adam Sandler did do this rematch. Check it out. We can't see it here, but I know what you're talking about from the hospital bed, right?
Right.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob holds a grudge. So we go from red to pink, and in particular, Paramount Plus has greenlit a Grease prequel that will focus on the legend of the Pink Ladies. The Pink Ladies, right?
Yeah.
Now, there was no word whether it's going to be the origin story of Frenchie and all of them, but I do believe it is. I've seen that on a couple sites, but there weren't sites that I felt comfortable enough to say, yeah, this is a for sure thing.
I just watched a horror movie with who was the one in the back?
The girl in the blue.
Yeah, in the middle.
That is Stalker Channing.
Right. Yeah, I just saw her in a horror movie.
Oh yeah, she does a lot of acting still too.
Yeah.
And she's great though. I think she's won an Oscar. To tell the truth.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But hey, another prequel.
Another prequel. Yeah.
Another prequel. I mean, all right. I liked Grease. It's the only musical I think I've ever liked, though, to be honest. Especially a movie, because I can't think of another movie musical that I've liked. I really don't like musical numbers in episodes as it is.
I'm not a huge fan of the musicals. I saw Phantom of the Opera when Paul Stanley from Kiss was doing Phantom in Toronto.
Right.
It was part of a school trip. And
I remember that. You went with Barry Gray in them.
What's that?
You, Barry Gray, and a bunch of guys from school went.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't go. I was doing a play.
I've seen Evil Dead the musical twice, which is an awesome time. If you love Evil Dead and you love Sam Raimi, you would love Evil Dead the musical. And I saw We Will Rock You, which was also really fun.
Yeah, nice. I don't know why, and I should like musicals because I'm a theater guy and I have that background, but yeah, I could never get into musicals. It just seems so weird to be into a scene and you're all into something, and then there's like, oh, wherefore thou,
that's the trick, right? You have to find something with a niche, right? Like We Will Rock You was the music of Queen, right? Which I'm a big fan. So
I do know a musical I like better than Grease, actually. And that is the Beatles musical.
Yeah.
Oh my God. My kids used to watch it all the time. Why can't I think of it? And it's not about the Beatles at all. It's about this guy named Jude that comes from England and to find his father, who was, during the World War II, was over in England and knocked his mom up. So he went to go find him. What is that? Across the Universe.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. Jim Sturgis. Jim Sturgis. And I forget the guy that played Max. But yeah, really good movie, man. Jim Sturgis is really good. I like Buddy the musical. Oh,
I'm sure you did. You saw the movie where everybody forgot about the Beatles, and the guy tried to bring the movie back.
I wanted that to be so good, dude.
It was all right.
Was it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I tried. I wanted him to be a better person, and then I wanted there to be a happier ending. Like I wanted it to be like that typical. Then he wakes up at the ending, and none of it really happened, but he learned a lesson, or he learned a lesson and grew with it. But it was neither. It was like fucking. Well, the Beatles never existed ever, and this guy lost everything. That was that not how it ended?
Yeah.
Like, I love hearing all the Beatles music, but that was like, I was like, how is there no happiness at all in this ending for a
I do
Beatles
like
music?
movies like that though, especially like I always preach Young Guns. That's what I love about the ending of that movie. Like it is, you know what I mean? Yeah, a few of them get away, but we
Yeah,
also lost a couple right at the end there. When Billy the Kid comes out of that trunk,
Guns a blasting, and then
awesome.
we get Young Guns 2, and you were so mad.
Christian Slater saved that movie.
Christian Slater saves a lot of movies. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Broken Arrow would have been stupid without Christian Slater in that movie. Come on, you're gonna get Howie Long as one of your main villains in that movie.
Right.
Come on, man. Come on, Deke. Where's the nukes, Deke? I'm not dying for this, you son of a bitch. I shouldn't know those lines still. I really shouldn't because I haven't seen that movie in 15 years.
Yeah.
I still remember Travolta at the very end, like where he realizes that the nuke's coming at him and he's got like 15 minutes to like fucking they get taken out on the train. I'm sorry, I digress. This is what we do here. I'm done, I promise. Anyways, you got some movie news.
Yeah, we've been following this story, of course. Rob Zombie's been attached to this project for a long time. Officially announced that he was behind this project a few weeks ago. We reported. Now, via Rob Zombie's Instagram, he shared some blueprints, and we know that he is demanding the studio build an exact replica of the Monster House for this movie.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, I hope it's good. I hope the movie's good.
Yeah, we don't yet know if this is going to be horror, if this is going to be comedy, if this is going to be a mix, but it'll be interesting to see Rob Zombie's take on 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
True. Well, now didn't they do it? There was a TV show that didn't last very long called 1313 Mockingbird, like starring Jerry O'Connell, I think, as Herman Munster.
Was it Jerry O'Connell?
I think it was. I really do. Let me just check real quickly here.
That would be so awesome if that's true.
Because I do believe so. Mockingbird Lane. Yeah, Jerry O'Connell, official Mockingbird Lane interview to play Herman Munster. Yeah, that's that happened.
Yeah. Well,
But he
we'll
didn't
come
look
back,
like
we'll come
Herman
back
Munster.
to it.
What's
Come
that?
back. We'll come back to Jerry.
Well, yeah, Jerry. Yes, we will. Good old Canadian boy. So did you see? I'm sorry. Were you done with your story there before I move on there?
I was done. Yeah.
Yeah, you sure? I don't want to take your stuff there. Did you see the Emmy noms came out?
I did.
Like, there's some changes this year, yo.
Yeah.
The geeks are front and center this year. WandaVision, 4 nominations. The Mandalorian, 4 nominations. And The Boys, not 4 nominations. I think they're up for 2 or 3. But they're up for Best Dramatic Series. My Show Warrior is up there. Our boy Brett Chan nominated for Best Stunts in a show, which is great. I love seeing that as well. But wow, I mean, I don't think WandaVision or The Mandalorian is going to win Best Dramatic Series or The Boys. But this is a game changer.
Yeah.
Because we would never see this before. Like pre-pandemic, I don't think we would see this. These would be all specialty categories.
Do you listen to Smartless?
No, I don't know what
No.
that is.
It's a podcast with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett.
Yeah, I have listened to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they were talking about. One I was listening to just today or yesterday, and they were saying, if it wasn't for the Emmys, comedy would get no recognition. Like they basically, like, the Oscars does not recognize comedy, like,
Yeah,
rarely, anyways.
sadly. But I mean, maybe it's all changing. I think they're starting to realize, they got to go where the money is and where people watch. But to be fair, though, I mean, Friends did pretty well in the Emmys. Seinfeld did really well in the Emmys.
I'm talking more of the big screen, though.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Will says it's now 12 in Spain. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you as well, Will. So lucky that depleted copper mine had enough copper to keep the radiation at bay after nuke. Oh, and Broken Arrow. Well, if you see butterflies flying around after a nuke goes off, you're okay.
That's right.
And then we learned he was just saying shit.
Always send the canary out first.
That's right. The Canary in the Cave. Loved WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but can't say the same for Loki. Loki took me... Actually, I liked Loki. I liked every episode of Loki. I just didn't love Loki. Like, I still to this point think that even after the reveal at the end of Loki, which I think Loki was great. We're going to talk about Loki in a second. I thought it was a fantastic show. I still think Superman and Lois overall is having a better first season than what Loki did. To be fair, Superman and Lois has the luxury of having, 20 episodes as opposed to 6 for Loki, that they got to try to get that all in it.
Right.
So,
yeah, not to get too off topic, but considering our viewers, I gotta ask, how are you guys taking the loss last week?
Not well, at least here in Canada.
Yeah.
You see them keep desecrating all those Italian halls and shit like that and putting racist slurs everywhere. And yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just football. It's just soccer, Like, it's just sports. Like, no matter what sport it is, that's stupid. I never understood vandalizing. Like, that was like Vancouver back in the day when they made the Stanley Cup and they lost and they fucking rioted.
3-2.
What's that?
They were up 3-2.
Yeah.
So they were even more pissed. Yeah.
Was that the Rangers?
I believe so. Yeah.
That was the fucking guarantee.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucked up.
I remember a story about it was a CFL kicker, and he missed a big kick in the Grey Cup. So a bunch of fans took it upon themselves that they were going to go trash this, find out where this guy lives and trash his house. And they did. Only problem is it wasn't his house. It was his neighbor's house.
Nobody said CFL fans were smart. Love you guys. I'm kidding. I love you.
It was Calgary, so. Whoa.
Something in those cow patties out there. It's tiger blood.
It is tiger blood.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen's the spokesperson.
And where does he get that tiger blood from? From the Tiger King.
The Tiger King. Tiger King movie should have been in our deaths this week. Nicolas Cage will no longer be playing the Tiger King. Amazon has axed it. They said they had 2 really good scripts, but they just feel that it's passed.
Yeah, it took too long. You know what I think more of it is I think they're starting to realize what a scumbag he is. And I bet you they probably were painting him in a more of a positive light in the movie. And they probably scrapped it because there was, I don't know. Yeah. And it was Nicolas Cage. Maybe there was issues there. I shouldn't even say that because Nicolas Cage looks like he will literally do anything. Him and Bruce Willis. every time I see a new movie out that I've never heard of, like when I'm checking the listings and stuff, you'll see these direct to fucking DVD. It's always fucking Bruce Willis in these movies. Like, give this guy Die Hard 6 already. Just so he could stop. I love you, Bruce, but yeah. Anyways, so wow. Black Widow happened. There is a end credit scene at the end. I'm sorry. Guys, I'm gonna have a spoiler here. If you don't want to hear a spoiler for the end credit scene for Black Widow, plug your ears. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So at the end of the movie, they show Valeria Contessa, who was at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. You know how she recruited the U.S. agent. This time she's recruiting Florence Pugh, Scarlett Johansson's little sister, basically, what's going to be the new Black Widow, and recruited her. And she's like, didn't even recruit her. She was just like, I'm on my day off. And she's like, I can't help it. We got your new fucking target. And she hands him a picture, and it's Clint, fucking Hawkeye. Because, they're like, we know who's responsible for your sister's death. Here's your next target. So now, after Black Widow came out, they just released the casting for the new Hawkeye series. And here is your cast, including Florence Pugh playing Yelena Bolova. So the actors up top, their comic book counterpart on the bottom, or MCU counterparts. And Tony Dalton, I don't really know who that is, but he's playing Swordsman. And Swordsman in the comic books is fucking Clint's brother. And they hate each other, like with a passion. So that should be fun to see what happens in this. And that was something that we weren't sure we were going to get to see this year. Now I'm hearing rumors we're going to see Hawkeye by the end of September this year. So fingers crossed that still happens. We will see. But I like that cast, and I like Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. Do you know they offered that role to Jensen Ackles?
No.
They offered him that, and he also tried out for Captain America. You know who Jensen Ackles is?
I'm not sure.
Dean from Supernatural. I don't know. You'd know him to see him.
Yeah, probably.
You're like, yeah, no, I wouldn't. I think I'm the only person in the world that hasn't watched Tiger King. Is it worth the time? Dude, I watched half an episode, and I will never, ever watch the rest of that. I hated that guy with a passion. But I think Steve watched the whole series.
I did watch it. You know what? I was probably about 2 episodes, 2 and a bit, maybe 3 episodes in, and I was like, but I finished it anyways.
See, I had the luxury of the first episode I watched. I was at somebody else's house and they were watching it, so I just saw like the last half hour of that episode,
Right.
and I was just like, "All right, that's enough for me." Like that was the episode where one of his husbands accidentally shoots himself and kills himself,
Right.
and then by the end of the episode, fucking, he's got a new husband.
Right.
I'm like, what? Like, nah, I'm good.
What happened is that damn Carol Baskins.
Carol fucking Baskins. That's the only other thing I know from that show, and I've never even heard him say that. I've just heard people say it and make fun of it. Luke replied to your thoughts there about England. They lost, but the fans and security punching Italy fans on the way out of Wembley was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Absolutely agreed.
Yeah, it's
No
tough.
place for that shit. No place at all for that shit. Like, I mean, just get rid of, I don't know, man. Just, you almost wish that COVID was still around for no fans.
I saw a startling stat that domestic violence after an England loss goes up 38%.
Come on.
Yeah.
And when you think of soccer hooligans, what country do you think of? And I'm sorry, I know we have a lot of Brits that watch this show.
Yeah, I mean, just from the way it's portrayed in movies and stuff like that, yeah, I'd have to say like Scotland, England,
Yeah.
Those countries. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know enough about it to say for sure one way or the other.
I always think of the guy in Eurotrip who's been in a bunch of stuff. He was an actual ex pro or whatever.
Vinny Jones. Vinny
Sorry?
Jones from Snatch.
That's it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
A great, a hilarious guy.
Yeah. The soccer hooligans, the football hooligans from Eurotrip. Yeah, man, that was a great movie and great reference there. Now, you got an interesting story. We said we're going to talk about this guy a little bit later on. We talked about Jerry O'Connell earlier, but you also have another story with Jerry.
Yeah, this was weird. I mean, I didn't know, but I guess he had guest hosted a couple times since the exit of Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne, of course, on the talk, and was left the show after a confrontation with Cheryl Underwood, another host. She'd been on the show since 2010, and yeah, Jerry O'Connell is going to be the new permanent replacement. I mean, I guess they passed on Piranha 4.
Piranha 4?
No, that's right. Oh, he died. No, they ate him. No, he died.
He's been working a lot though, Jerry.
I know.
Between him and Rebecca Romaine, which is also my favorite salad.
Jerry, call me if you need some money.
Yeah. Trust me, he's got lots. And you know what? Good Canadian kid. Come on, My Secret Identity, Stand By Me.
I'm completely kidding. I love Jerry O'Connell,
and I give him more love because he was a very decent voice for Superman in a few of the animated movies. So good on you, Jerry. Good on you, indeed. I think Jerry has his nether region eaten by the piranhas.
That's right, and then regurgitate it in 3D if you got to see it in 3D. So that came right out at you.
Wow, so that's very RoboCop-ish.
Right.
Oh man, I don't even know how to segue into this next story after that. But so we talked about Loki earlier, the Loki series, and yeah, spoilers, whatever. I don't know if you don't know this or not by now. Loki does not die in the series at all. There's a season 2 coming that has been confirmed, and Tom Hiddleston himself has come out and said he would play Loki forever. And I think this is the smartest thing I've heard any actor from the MCU or any franchise ever say. Because everybody else, when they get a character like this that they're pigeon-toed to for their entire career, they're like, oh no, try to get far. Man, embrace that shit. Eat it up for as long as you can because you never know when your star will dwindle. And he's great, man. He is a great Loki. Are you hearing something? So I know you're probably not going to watch it for a while. Are you hearing some of the controversy, or people are calling it a controversy from Loki?
No.
The whole thing is it's based on the time variant authority and trying to protect the sacred timeline, like they talked about Endgame, right?
Yeah, told me a little bit about it, so I do know a little bit. Yeah.
So there's the variant Lokis. There's different variations of him, right? So the main variant that they're chasing, the TVA hires him. Owen Wilson hires this Loki to help them track down the variant Loki.
Right.
Yeah, which is like, wow. Which is like is the female Loki who calls herself Sylvie. But then Sylvie and the original Loki end up teaming up together. But original Loki starts to fall for Sylvie. And then, so it looks like they're going to have a relationship of some sort. He flirts with her the entire time, puts a blanket around her, stuff like that. And people are calling it incest. Masturbation at best. At best.
Have you people not seen Game of Thrones?
But this is masturbation. This is not it. They're not related. They're the same person.
Yeah.
It's masturbation at best. If it's not masturbation, then it's just two strangers that share a lineage and it's just a different timeline, man. Like, I'm sorry. If there's a hot version of me out there somewhere, female version, just saying, think of how beautiful our babies would be. Oh, I'm such an idiot. A Black Widow prelude to the Avengers movies or a different timeline. I'm not up on this movie, just so I know what to expect. The Black Widow movie is like it's right. It takes place right after Captain America: Civil War, so it's right after she goes on the run. That's when this movie takes place. That's just self-love. That's exactly what I said. It's just self-love. It's masturbation. Hey, what's up, Troy, my boy? Yeah, man. But that's like if Loki's having sex with a variation of himself, then there you go. Loki Gator is the best variant. Yeah. It's hard to argue that one. And Troy says, Steve. All right, so yeah, self-love, man, just self-love, and we're taught to love ourselves, so
We are.
lay off, yo. Let them play. Speaking of let them play, you got the next story.
Yeah, Netflix is dabbling into the video game world. They said by as early as next year, you will be able to stream video games via Netflix. They went ahead and hired the former head of Electronic Arts Inc., of course, known as EA Games. And yeah, this is going to could be a game changer.
So let me put something into perspective for the folks at home. When Netflix first came out, they were this mail-in red box service where you could basically put your loony in a machine, get a movie out of there for like $1, and or however much it was, and you return it anytime you want, no late fees, no charges, anything like that. If you didn't return it, whatever, they weren't really freaking out. And every video chain in the world thought that Netflix was laughable and that was nothing. And what did Netflix do? It killed every one of them except for one Blockbuster. I mean, there's still the various ones that are around. Of course, that's Entertainment St. Catharines, Jumbo Video in Port Colborne. But they're very few and far between. I think there's only one Blockbuster left in the entire world.
Yeah, in Oregon. Yeah.
So I mean, if Netflix does this right, I mean, if they're just going to charge people to rent the video games, and then you get to basically, if it's like the streaming service and you just rent it for as long as you want, I don't see how consoles compete.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a service you can I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah.
It's scary but exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
Steve, have you been watching the Fear Street series on Netflix? I don't think it's your thing, Zeus. Probably not.
So I remember when it first got advertised, I'm like, yeah, I put it in my reminder list, and I started watching the first one, and I just felt it to be. It says rated R, so I thought, okay, this is going to be, a little more far and above, just your average horror movie, and I just felt it was very goosebumpy, like
too kid-like.
Yeah, like I don't know, like if you've watched it and it gets better, I really probably only gave it about 25-30 minutes into the first of the 3 episodes or movies, I should say.
Sure.
Yeah, I couldn't really get into it, but yeah, partly Amber told me to turn it off.
Sure, blame Amber. Amber!
I hope she's not watching.
We'll get a comment if so. You're going to go back to back here. You got a revival.
Yeah, a show that ran for 113 episodes. It showed us the Homes of the Stars, MTV's Cribs is what I'm talking about. Gave us an inside look to everybody from the A-list to people we barely heard of.
Which, at the end of it, that's all it was, though, right?
Right?
I was like, who is this person? who was this? No, my question is, was it a fact that nobody knew who they were, or nobody our age knew who they were because we got older, so that was a younger generation of stars that were coming up that we wouldn't have known who they were?
We were that outdated.
I look at so what I do now is I look at like stuff like I paid attention to how millennials were treating like Gen Z and things like that,
Right.
and it was kind of the same. Like I was noticing kind of the same patterns there. So I think yeah, we did. No, that's what I'm going with. Yes, I agree. Goosebumpy, as you say, but yes, gets better. I've got PT3 left to watch. Oh, part 3.
I'll try. I'll try finishing the first one, and if I can get something out of the first one, then I'll continue. Speaking of finishing up on MTV Cribs, though, we do know that it will be out by next month, and featuring episodes are Rick Ross and Big Sean.
Nice. Roof. I like Rick Ross.
I'm sure his place is crazy.
Oh, right.
He is a
He's
real
lost crazy weight, though, eh? Have you seen the weight loss that man's gone through?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, man. If you see a picture of him lately, you'll see he's lost a shit ton of weight, and good for him, man. But if he's always dealing with the 10 bricks, I'm sure that's another way he's lost some of the weight. You know, Jenny Crack diet. Give us a week, we'll take off the weight. Wasn't he the crack king of LA, Rick Ross? I mean, he does. He brags about selling coke in a lot of his songs more than I think Biggie did. But I think that was part of both of their things. Like, yeah, 10 bricks. Last story before we get to our little trivia, our little test that I've got for Steve moving forward. You a John Wick fan?
I am.
Have you watched all of them?
I have.
All 3? Nice. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of them as well. One of my favorite things about them, and we've mentioned it already in past shows, is kind of the central place for everything. And that's, the Sweden, or I should say the Switzerland, the neutral ground of the show, which is always the Continental hotels. And in part 3, we found out that there were Continentals all across the globe, all part of the same kind of hitman cabal, if you will. Our news is the Continental, which is coming out now soon. It's coming out after John Wick 4, which comes out May 27, 2022. The Continental is going to have a bigger budget than Game of Thrones. The average price per episode is going to be $10 to $15 million an episode. How does that work on a show that you can basically do in a hotel?
The dragons in this show are going to be crazy.
Like, is it all bullet CGI? Like, all the guns are fake? I mean, how? As far as we know, Keanu Reeves and Winston, I forget his name. Actor's great. He's in American Gods. So far, neither one of them even confirmed to make an appearance in here. Now, I'm sure they will at some point, like just at least cameos.
Right.
But how are they this much money without having any big names in it? Like, we don't know any of the names in it. I thought King Willie was the crack king of LA until Predator got him. All right. I know it's a bit past, but yeah, he worked with the CIA back in the 80s. And, well, if Winston is in the Continental, then money well spent. But he's not. That's the thing. He's not in it. And I really wish he was. He may show up later. And I think he would, honestly. American Gods, I think, is on their last season.
Yeah,
so,
running a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no confirmation yet at all. So, and that's going to do it for our news today.
Two quick to just last stories. We know that Chucky, the teaser's out for Sci-Fi, the Chucky TV show, October 12th. That's coming out. And did you see this story? We're going to sports geek for a minute here. Richard Sherman. police and had to be taken down by a canine unit. He has pled not guilty to 5 misdemeanors.
Yeah, man, that was a shocking story. Sad. Well, it really was though, and his wife came out full support of him, saying they've been dealing with mental abuse issues with him for not mental abuse, but just he's been having mental issues that they've all been trying to deal with for a while here. And I mean, he plays safety, right? He played corner for a while, but I think he moved to safety.
Yeah.
And safety is one of those positions that your brain gets rattled so often because you linebackers are all high impact hits, always.
Yeah.
Like
they have the biggest running start.
Yeah.
They see the play develop.
Yep. Yeah, they're technically the quarterback on defense, although I always say it's the middle linebacker or inside linebacker. But yeah, that's it's sad, man. I hope he gets help. I hope he gets healthy. And I hope there is some sort, like he should still have to have some type of reprimand though, mental issue or not. Like, I mean, it's such a delicate tightrope to walk and to know what's the proper etiquette for that. But I mean, there's got to be some kind of repercussions as well, though.
Like I said, even if it is just seeking help.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like people that get mandatory having to go to rehab. Same deal. But yeah. So let me do my my TikTok video of the week. I was going to talk about a video I did, but before I get into that, I want to tell you guys about a gentleman. You can find him on TikTok, official Shaquan Parson. This dude, yeah, it's so easy for me to say. I'm going to show you videos, and he's not edited any of this. There's no assistance. This is all him. There's no springboards. There's no wire work. This is all Shaquan. The first one I'm going to show you is him just dunking a cookie in some milk. What? So this guy's also like a black belt as well. Specialty is weapons. Uses a lot of swords in a lot of his videos as well. Why this guy isn't playing Blade or why he isn't in the Blade movie is beyond me. But man, somebody get this guy in the MCU.
Ah! Yes! Come on! I'm getting this all the time, baby. All the fucking time.
Yeah, I mean, go follow that guy, the official Shaquan Parson. If you're into stuff like that, if you're into seeing some amazing feats of athleticism, this guy has got it in spades. He's awesome.
He might be an alien.
He might be an alien. He might be from a parallel universe. Let me ask you something. So I posted a video that I took some heat over. Not heat as in like anyone was angry at me, but one where people were like, are you stupid? And I don't know, man. Music and memory, I always say, is one thing. Like they talk about Alzheimer's patients. They can always, not always, but certain songs they'll remember all the words to.
Right.
So there's a song from our youth that I remember the words one way. And it turns out I was wrong. And I've been told that's called the Mandela effect. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mandela effect. It's based on Nelson Mandela, who, let me just put it here for you. Mandela, who this theory is named after, died in 2013. However, countless people thought that he died, or they remembered him dying in prison in the 80s. Now, do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, I remember the story in 2013 or whatever it was, but I mean Nelson Mandela in the 80s. I remember he got out and he became a huge, peace, supporter.
Advocate against apartheid and shit like that. Yeah. So they named this whole effect for him because there's this phenomenon around the world with different things where people remember them one way, but then they're completely wrong. Have you heard any examples of this before?
Well, like Star Wars, Luke, I am your father, or however people say it wrong.
Right. Not only that, did you know, and I was going to put this one up there and I totally forgot. Did you know C-3PO has a silver leg?
Yep.
I did not remember that originally.
I do remember.
But that wasn't, for me, it's not one of those Mandela effects. For me, that's just one of those I never would have paid attention. Right. Yeah. Like the red one stuck out for me, the red leg and the new ones.
Yeah.
Right. So I posted a video about Oscar Mayer wieners. So I taught my son how to spell his name using the Oscar Mayer wiener theme song. So I said, my son, he has a first name. It's Logan. My son, he has a second name. It's James. Logan James is his name. Fleming. Works perfectly. My other kids hate it because can't do it. It doesn't work with anybody else's name. So the Oscar Mayer wiener song, though. My baloney had a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney had a second name. It's Meyer. Right?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but it sounds right.
You go online, it is not. It's Mayer. Oscar Mayer.
Mayer.
And it just looks so freaking wrong to me. Like, it looks wrong.
So Mayer is right.
Mayer is the correct version. Meyer is incorrect. And I took so much heat.
If you would have just asked me how to spell Meyer, I probably would have said E, not even talking about the wieners.
Right? All right. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna test your memory on these, okay? See if the Mandela effects affected you at all. I've got side-by-side pictures of certain things from Mandela effects. You tell me which one is the way you remember it, and then I'll put up the real one after. So First one, is it Jiffy or is it Jif? Now this is harder for us because that's an American peanut butter.
Yeah, I'm going to say Jif.
You are correct. As you can see, my Photoshop, I was having trouble, so it's just white X's that we're going to use. So up next, is it Febreze or Febreze? 2 E's or 1 E?
I'm going to say 1 E.
You are correct, sir. Now, is it the Berenstein Bears or the Berenstain Bears?
Berenstein Bears.
So the one on the left?
Yeah, with the E.
You are incorrect, sir. It is the Berenstain Bears.
Oh.
Is it Fruit Loops, UIT, or is it Fruit OOT?
Double Cheerios.
You are correct. And the last one we got here, I got a compilation one here for you. Is it Sex in the City or Sex and the City?
Okay, so this one we'll go one at a time. This is Sex and the City.
Okay. Is it Coca-Cola with a dash or without the dash?
With the dash.
Is it Pikachu with the black on his tail or with no black on his tail?
Black on his tail.
And is it Looney Tunes like music or tunes like cartoons?
Tunes like music.
Not bad. You went 50% there.
So I got Sex and the City.
and you got Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola had no dash, and Pikachu. I still looking at the Pikachu. I still think it should have the black mark on its tail.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Like my son was big into Pokemon, and I thought for sure I got that one right.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately,
What sure about?
yeah. Here we'll take a quick look here because these are great though. Like because some of these are just you just remember them incorrectly, but that Oscar Mayer one, I swear, dude. King Henry VIII with the turkey leg. But I don't really like. I kind of remember this picture, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But this one, not so much. There you go, Monopoly Man, and his monocle.
Oh yeah, eh?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say he didn't have the monocle.
or more like the fact he doesn't have one. This, as some suggest, might be a simple confusion between him and the Planters Peanut Company's mascot, Mr. Peanut, because he doesn't have one.
Right.
There's the Pikachu one. Kit Kat. The hyphen in Kit Kat. If you had an existential crisis about the fact there's no hyphen in Kit Kat.
I was gonna say there's no hyphen in that. Yeah.
The cornucopia has never been there.
Fruit of the loom, right?
No. That's the words are right, but the cornucopia behind it.
Oh.
See how one's got the cornucopia, like the little fucking
Yeah.
yeah. The other one doesn't have it, but
Right.
that's the way it's always been. It's always been the one on the right. Cheese it or cheese its.
Cheese it.
It's
Cheese
just
it.
Cheez Its.
Z,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The Z's not right. Double stuff Oreos. It's only one F on double stuff.
Huh. No, I gotta say that's wrong. Is it?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Mona Lisa's smile. There's a lot of theories about this one, but so many people have claimed that she used to have a more obvious smile.
No.
And there's the C-3PO one. But
Yeah.
I do almost remember it now just because I think I had the toy like
Right.
back in the day and it had the silver leg.
Yeah.
And it's two T's in Flintstones, not the Flynn Stones. It's the Flint Stones.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's really. I can't believe that one's even a thing.
Right? I don't know what the chartreuse is.
I'm colorblind, man.
Life is like a box of chocolate is not what Forrest Gump actually said. If you listen carefully, he says life was like a box of chocolate.
Really?
Oh, life was like it. So is it better now? Now he knows what he's going to get? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Nope, that wasn't the line. Magic mirror on the wall. And we knew this one. All I said was, I am. He actually says, no,
No.
I am your father. Nah, who cares about Lord of the Rings? Never says hello, Clarice, at all in this movie.
No. That's right.
Not once. I knew this, though, only because every time the song's on, I want to say of the world at the very end. Because he says it every single time except for the last time in the song. Of the world. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. But it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. Like, how rude is Mr. Rogers thinking that the rest of the world's neighborhoods weren't good?
I just hope I can move into your neighborhood someday. Only problem is when I move in, y'all
Move out. Sinbad never played a genie. Now, I know people mix it up with Kazam, but he was in a movie called Shazam, and I thought that was a genie movie as well.
It was a pirate movie.
Oh, you're right. And it's Smokey Bear, not Smokey the Bear.
Really? Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bear.
Smokey Bear. Oddly enough, people had no recollection of the aeronautic legend's death. Many fans apparently forgot or didn't notice the news of his passing in 2012. Yeah. Mother Teresa. People have strong opinions about whether when Mother Teresa was canonized as a saint. The real event happened in 2016, but many people remember her entering sainthood in the 90s when she was still alive. Yeah, I don't know. I was never big on any of that.
Oh.
Though the tragic accident took place on January 28th, 1986, a number of people who thought it happened in 84, 85. I just think it happened in whatever year Punky Brewster was out. Because I remember
Yeah,
seeing
I
that episode.
remember that, I live so close to Plymouth that I used to come home every day for lunch. I know you used to come to my house almost every day for lunch for years when you were at Plymouth. And I remember watching it. I used to get to watch the end of Batman and then a few minutes of the Flintstones usually. But back then, shuttle launches were a big thing. So we would put on, Buffalo News and watch the shuttle launch, right?
WUTV, man.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola has the dash here. Weird. I have a bottle here.
Wow.
Well,
So that's a geographical thing.
maybe. I've heard people say that they think the Mandela effect is either a result of us smashing atoms at the CERN collider, and it's done something like it's seismic, put us through some kind of wormhole.
I didn't hear that one, but that's cool.
Yeah, or that we've actually went through our galaxy went through a black hole, like a black hole swallowed our galaxy at some point during our lifetime, and that's why we remember things one way, but it's been changed because we're in a parallel kind of universe now. I'm not saying I believe any of this. I'm saying this is some of the fucking theories out there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that to the fans because they're all probably thinking that. Lindenberg's baby. When Charles Lindbergh's infant son was kidnapped, the entire world focused their attention on the story. Many remember her case going cold, but they sadly found the body and sentenced the killer to death for the heinous crime. This one I don't remember at all. Though the actor sadly died after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, people have said they remember him recovering.
No, I don't remember.
He may have went into remission at some point, but I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Leo's only won one Oscar. I don't ever remember him winning any earlier. I think he should have won lots, but
Nominated maybe.
yeah, been nominated, a whole bunch of time, but didn't win until he got the Grizzly Bear one. And the location of Disney World Castle. If you've ever been to the Magic Kingdom, do you recall where the castle was located? Some even one Orlando local on Reddit clearly remembers it being the entrance to the park. So yeah, just some craziness there, and there's a whole bunch of them throughout history. And there are. I mean, like that Oscar Mayer one, it threw me. I'm not gonna lie. I still like. If it wasn't for the song, me singing it in my head, as right. But that could also just mean that I've been singing it wrong my entire life, right? So
yeah, and that's they
more likely
on 97.7, I believe it was misheard lyrics. Excuse me while I kiss this guy.
Yeah, well, Wayne's World did that,
right?
Yeah.
I had a friend who thought the AC/DC song "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap" was 30 Thieves and the Thunder Chief.
It was 97.7 that played "Dirty Deeds Done with Sheep."
Done with sheep, yes. Rubber boots, Velcro gloves.
When Hits FM was glorious. Luke says, I think it's right. It's probably the geography there. Yeah. Could be, man. Or could just be the Mandela effect. And maybe half the world maybe we're halfway through a wormhole or something right now. Maybe we're at the Einstein-Rosen bridge, like just at that at the crossing point. Could be. And half the world's on the other side and we're not there. Is Taylor giving us the look?
Taylor, what's your theory on the Mandela effect?
What did Howie Mandel do?
She thinks we live in the Matrix.
I mean,
it is like going back and forth, like glitches in the system. Yeah.
Glitches in the system. I knew she'd given me her theory before, but I couldn't remember it exactly, and I didn't want to quote her. But
So that's what the Mandela effect is. And I think I've heard that or read that as well. Because when I was studying this before we did this, I was like, man, it's a deep hole you can go down, deep rabbit hole. And that was definitely one of the.
Definitely don't dwell on it if you're doing psychedelics.
Right. Hey, welcome back, Ronnie. Ron, did you stay for the end credit scene? Did you watch the end credit scene, dude? There was an end credit scene. I hope you stayed for it. And yes, I love that movie too. I always thought it was Dirty Deep's Dundergree, whatever Dundergree is.
Pants, right? I believe Dungarees are pants.
Yeah, no, that's a Duridan, isn't it? But what?
A didgeridoo is the
Didgeridoo. See, that would have made more sense. That would have made more sense. They're from Australia, AC/DC, right? And the didgeridoo is from Australia as well.
Right.
So tying this all up with a bow. That's how we do what we do. I'm getting a million messages here. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. So that was it for my Mandela effect. How did you like it? Did you have anything like that yourself, though?
What's that?
Like, did any of those like stick out for you? Like, you're like, no, man, I remember that another way. Like, even the ones that we were reading.
Yeah. What was the one I said that I was? There was no way that it was. There was one. I can't remember what it was now.
Me neither. That was a really big joint I smoked. So, just finished. Hey, Steve, what was the 5-second review? The wife wants to know. The wife one. I don't know. What was your 5-second review?
For Escape Room Tournament of Champions?
Yes. I want to watch that next.
I think I saw this movie already.
Oh, the wife movie. That's the wife's movie that you're going to watch?
Oh, Wife's Bodyguard?
I have no idea. Maybe your messages are proving the Coca-Cola wormhole theory. Well, what is the Coca-Cola wormhole theory? I do want us to do another conspiracy theory show, an episode. Maybe we should do that next week, though, because I love those episodes.
Okay, so I listen to Q107, and they advertise podcasts on there all the time. And there's a podcast that talks about, strange things and whatever. And one of the podcasts was about the underground, the Denver airport. Have you heard of this one?
No.
So apparently there's a lot of weird shit supposedly going on underneath the Denver airport. It's the craziest story I've ever read in my life. There are so many weird theories, and I never heard of this one before ever. And it's been going on for decades.
But crazy things like what? Like monsters or?
From like aliens to it being some big genocide facility to being a shelter for the rich and powerful at the end times to crazy things.
So that's where they're all going to live with the aliens that are already on the planet.
I guess, yeah.
Damn. Well, we'll have to look that up. Yeah, maybe we'll do that next week. We'll do best conspiracy theories or our favorite conspiracy theories out there.
I like it because I'm not quite the tinfoil hat wearer, but I definitely have a few conspiracy theories that I am on the side of.
Yeah. Are you a Great Reset guy? If you have to think about it, I'm just saying. Every conspiracy theory, though, I have the same question for anybody's conspiracy theory. What is the end game?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be hard to pull off, but it's not something I would put past the government.
Yeah. I don't know, man. If it was going to be any government, I don't know that it would be this government.
Right.
I think it would have been the one that was before this government. That was, yeah. But this government's doing some weird stuff, too. And we don't usually talk about this stuff. But what was that? Bill C-21 and stuff?
I know we share one big conspiracy theory. And then we're on the OJ. The OJ.
Oh, they didn't do it?
Well, we both believe he didn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I've never said that I believe he doesn't do it, but I mean, from what my criminology teacher, his theory was a good one to me, I thought. And now I've even heard different theories that it was actually OJ's son that did it, and OJ took off in the Bronco to buy his son time
Right.
to get away. But
my
but
theory
his theory was
the possibility of him being there at the time or directly after.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and every theory that I've heard that it's made, not even should say made sense, but the ones that I've paid attention to have all been that Ron Goldman was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Like the it's so hard to say unless you're actually there. But yeah,
exactly. And there's only maybe one or two people on the planet who actually know who
that are
really,
still alive. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's one of those. Do you think we'll ever know?
I don't know. We're how many years removed from the JFK assassination, and we still don't.
Yeah. Well, they said it was Lee Harvey Oswald, but I mean,
right.
That's one of the first big conspiracy theories we've ever had was the magic bullet theory.
Yeah.
Right?
9/11.
9/11. Yeah, man. I mean, so we've got a lot of conspiracies that we can definitely go over for next week. I heard that there was a huge futuristic city under the airport in Denver. I always imagining Futurama sewers full of mutants.
Yeah, chuds.
They'd be called Morlocks.
No, they're chuds. They're cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
You're such a chud. Ron's always in the wrong place. Yeah. I don't know much about OJ's trial, but Nordberg got a lot of shit in the Naked Gun. Yeah, man.
Nordberg was fine cop.
Yes, he just ask. Detect Frank Durbin.
From Drebin.
Drebin.
The late great Canadian Leslie Nielsen.
One of the best, honestly. Man. All right, well, I guess that's it. You got anything else you want to talk about this week?
I am pumped. I am going so far. I mean, I don't want to get all my cards here, but I have tickets for a concert in less than 5 weeks.
Damn, right on. Who's the concert for?
Sam Roberts Band at Budweiser Stage. Yeah, nice. They announced a few Canadian acts. Obviously, with the borders not being completely open, Canadian acts are really all they can get right now. But the Arkells have sold out 3 shows. Sam Roberts doing a show. They got Blue Rodeo.
Nice.
And opening up for Sam Roberts Band is Chaos.
No idea who that is.
Crab Bucket.
Still no.
Yeah, how does that go?
Yes, we did talk about Biz Markie. We talked about all the deaths this week. Him and Mac and Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, man, that'll be cool. I'm waiting for wrestling to start again. Like, I'm starting to see a couple promotions have shows already now in Ontario, which is great. Other ones that are starting to have them planned. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Crossfire and PWF are back soon.
Like I think I saw, I heard it. I think I saw you share it. The Blue Jays are going to be allowed to have 15,000 people.
Yeah,
that's basically what they're capping Budweiser at, and it's basically masks and temperature checks. So no vaccine proof needed. But I heard about a podcast that was going to be like a live podcast at Massey Hall, and they're requiring everyone to be vaccinated. So.
Yeah, it's going to depend on where you go.
Yeah.
Like certain places are going to demand the full vaccination. But how do you prove it, though?
Yeah, because here in Canada, really all it is just a piece of paper. I mean,
yeah,
not hard to forge.
No, and if it's like because I've got my first shot and it's legit, I could easily make the same thing on my computer.
Right.
It's not that hard at all. but I don't
think-
know if full vax is different.
Personally, I think masks and temperature checks is the best way to go right now.
Yeah. Although it'd be nice to go to a venue and not wear masks.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, right? They're saying mask unless you're eating and or drinking. So it's like, you know what I mean? You go to the bar, you got 2 beers, you're like, all right, this one's D.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm gonna go buy another beer, and
That's it. And everybody's trash. Nobody wear masks. Yeah. And then 4 weeks later, we're back in fucking lockdown.
well,
I hate
we'll
to jinx us like that, but I mean,
see how the numbers go.
yeah, true.
Hopefully, we can keep them down. We've been doing good.
Yeah. They've been rising again, I think, out west and then another country, I think, is Japan. Japan's getting hit hard.
Wow.
They got the fucking Olympics going on. Because remember, we talked about that, how they stopped the fan. They're not having any fans at any of the events anymore now. And now some of the athletes are talking about whether they should even go.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of these athletes only have one shot at the Olympics, or maybe 2 Olympics in their lifetime, and then they're over.
Yeah. It's tough
Robert,
call.
what's that? Oh yeah, very tough call. I had both my shot, and there's nothing wrong with me. Well, my tall horns fell off. I got the Moderna shot, and it felt like I had a Charlie horse. It felt like someone punched me in the arm, like really, really hard, just in the right spot. You know what I'm talking about? Like to get that Charlie horse, and it felt like that for like almost 2 days. But even that's not that bad. I mean, I guess seems normal. I don't know. I've never been vaccinated for anything before. Oh no, that's not true. I've had booster shots and stuff.
Yeah,
been vaccinated to go on trips and stuff, but it's been a long time.
And you have talked about this. I ask a lot of people who have gotten the COVID shot, did you get the H1N1 shot? And a lot of people I ask don't even remember there being an H1N1 shot. Like,
yeah. I didn't get the H1N1 shot.
No.
But that was what year was that? That was SARS, right?
It was around SARS. Yeah. It was when me and Amber first got together. So less than 15 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, who knows? It is a variant of that, but I have no idea. Well, it's not. I shouldn't even say it's a variant of SARS. It's in the same family.
Right.
Yeah, the COVID or the Corona.
Exactly.
Family. So, but yeah, man, I'm no doctor, so I just,
just keep doing what we're doing. Just stay safe. I know like we obviously wear masks, and I sanitize when I come in and out of every place I go into. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I can just going to do that almost now on, no matter what. It's not a bad habit to be in.
I said, masks I'm hoping will come off, but that I've already said that's the one thing I probably will continue to do is sanitize coming out of, especially like Walmart or something like that, where a lot of people do conjugate and touch things. And I've always been a borderline germaphobe personally. I've always had a problem with door handles and stuff like that. I always try and grab them at places where I don't think other people are grabbing.
Right. The safe spot.
Or I use my T-shirt or my sleeve. So I was like that before COVID,
I was one of those elbow openers if I could, or use my shoulder to get into a place.
Or when you get to push out, I go really high up, or I use your elbow over your back, or
yeah, you're the guy that the window washers hate,
right?
Luke says AstraZeneca. I had one, but no side effects to speak of. People do tend to try to scare others. Yeah, man. But I wouldn't even say it's so. Like there is a lot of that fear mongering out there. But then there's others that don't buy into it. Like Steve's never been one that buys into fear mongering. But there's some like him and I both. Like I still probably wouldn't have gotten mine had my kids not come to me and asked me to book theirs for them. So I went with my son at the same time, just so he had somebody there with him, to show it was okay. But I'd still probably be waiting. And it's not that I don't trust it or anything like that either. It's just I just want a little bit longer to see if anything grows out of people first. But
Yeah.
here's the thing for my conspiracy theorists out there that think that the government's putting something in there. What if the government's putting something in there that's going to actually protect us from some big virus that they actually know about ahead of time that's going to kill off most of the planet, and everyone who doesn't take it, y'all going to die because you're going to be the only ones that couldn't have it. Like, what if that's our next step in evolution?
Did you try and stick a magnet on your arm after you got it?
I did. No. No.
I heard that one.
I've heard that one. I mean, there's so the people that like there's a and we'll talk about this all next week because I have a feeling COVID and vaccines will be a big part of our conspiracy show next week. But the folks out there that think that the government's putting microchips in you
Or a nano.
that can track you or anything like, how much money do you think the government has? No, for real. Like, literally, how much money do you think the government has? Because think about it. If you go get your shot, he's got a little bottle, sticks a syringe in, and sucks up a certain amount of that liquid. So you would have to have that entire vial filled with microchips all the way through it. All these little like tiny nanite-sized fucking microchips all in there just so that you maybe get the right, he gets it in there when he puts the needle in. So then you're getting millions or you're getting lots of microchips in you, not just one.
Right.
How much money do you think the fucking government has? Like, seriously, they can't keep the fucking water clean in Canada or the States. You think they got money for that? And to what end? They put microchips in you to track you? I'm just saying. Come on, yo, man.
No.
There's got to be some fucking common sense about this shit. That's all I say with conspiracy theories. Tell me what the end game is. Like when you tell me that, fuck, I don't know. Name a fucking, when you tell me the Earth is flat, what is the end game? Why? Why would every government on the planet only agree to keep that one secret?
Yeah.
And what would be the benefit of that?
I do not see the gain in that.
No, man, I don't see the gain in that at all. Like, now the Great Reset, I don't know too much about it. I know it's mostly
I only recently heard about it myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it like from a lot of my QAnon friends and stuff talk about it. That's why I never really gave it too much leeway. Honestly, it's just and I shouldn't base it just on who believes it, but honestly, that's how we all are, really. Even that one, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't see the gain there. I know about the resources and this and that, but they were when we were in Mrs. Farnsworth class, she used to tell us some fucking conspiracy shit, and I remember that her talking about like the Queen and the Prime Minister at that time and the President and like basically the New World Order, without her saying the New World Order or anything like that, but basically saying that the world powers, a bunch of them thought that the world was overpopulated and they needed to do something to cull it so that we wouldn't run out of resources.
That was another one of the theories behind underneath Denver Airport was it was a basis for the New World Order.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, what are you going to do? Glad you chaps are level-headed who honestly believes we're being tracked by an injection. For fuck's sakes, we have GPS track phones, etc. They don't need... Exactly.
They have our credit card information. They have our facial recognition. They have...
voice recognition. They have cameras everywhere. Like, I'm just saying. They want to find you. They're going to find you. They are. I'm just saying. Not saying. I'm just saying. If we're being made infertile too late, government, I've made that my kids had the snip. Too late, mofos.
Yeah, if that's what it is, sign me up.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Arrow / Hawkeye, what? Oh, Ron's really behind. He's watching behind us right now. That's why he keeps commenting on stuff. I forgot he was watching Black Widow and then coming back.
Right.
So he'll hear these comments later. Yeah. The great, all those, man, all of them. It's just some of them would be easier to believe if it wasn't for some of the followers who believe them. Like really, which is fucking sad because I want to be open minded. I really do to everything.
Not only is this an interesting topic, it's an interesting topic because if you're a conspiracy theorist, especially if you're not a huge conspiracy theorist, and you pick and choose and have your, how much of that do you want to reveal to other people that you support this cockamamie theory about this one?
Because you don't want to get branded as a fucking tinfoil hat wearer as well. Yeah, no, definitely, and I get that, but fuck yeah, it's got to be like just watch the end credits. That's what Ron said. At least we all know the Earth is flat. This topic is going to blow up. What, our conspiracy theory show? Yeah, we're gonna hit everything next week. It's not going to be like, I think our last conspiracy show wasn't really a conspiracy show. I think ours was more like urban legends and shit. So, Casey, we were talking about our favorite MCU moments so far. Then we talked about the things that happened in the news. I tested Steve's Mandela effects knowledge on how he remembered certain things. And now we're talking about next week's show where we're going to talk conspiracy theories. Like, what's your favorite conspiracy theory? What should we talk about next week? Let's not talk about Loch Ness Monster and stuff like that.
Triangle.
Bermuda. Yeah, let's not talk about the typical stuff. Let's get into the stuff that people always want to talk about. Let's talk about how people think. We can talk about the conspiracy against Trump if people want. Like, I mean, y'all think he won the election and isn't he supposed to be the president right now after July 6th or something? Anyways, we can talk about all that stuff. We can talk about conspiracy theories about what you think about reality. There's a lot of people think we are in a simulation, which when it comes to
Otter. I'm just kidding.
When it comes to conspiracy theories, that's one I can buy into more than most others, especially when it comes into theories on existentialism or life, as you will, because that one I can see that. How would we know if we were a Sims character? No. How would we know if we were just not doing if we're just an NPC, a non-playable character? Would we know? I'll be there. My favorite conspiracy theory is DB Cooper. You think he's still alive?
So, Casey, did you watch the most recent documentary about DB Cooper? Because that one, there was a couple of different families that claim, had the story that they had a tie to the real DB Cooper, and it was it was a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen that. But Casey, have you seen Loki lately? And in Loki, they explained that Loki actually is DB Cooper. Jumping out of the plane and everything. That was in another movie too, wasn't it? Oh, fucking Shawshank. Was Shawshank have a DB Cooper moment? No.
No.
What did you see where there was a moment?
Without a paddle.
No, there was another more serious movie, I think, and that's what it was, but I forget. Luke says Bigfoot is the next step in our evolution. I could make this shit up all day. Listen, we haven't seen a photo of Nessie or Bigfoot since the advent of cell phones with fucking cameras. I think that tells us everything we need to know about those. I wish it was true, honestly. But we would have seen fossils at some point, some kind of bones. Of course, man, I've been following it since I was about 12 to 13. I'm not an NPC. Otherwise, my player is an alcoholic-loving knobhead. I mean, how do you know that's not an NPC character? It sounds like an NPC character to me. I'm just kidding, buddy. We're all the main character of our own video games. What? See you next week, brother. Yeah, for sure. We will be here and we will be talking DB Cooper. We'll look up all the conspiracies we can. Plus, we'll put it out to you, the fans, on what conspiracies are your favorites. And yeah, hey, why not? Let's have some fun. I just heard a beep, which means that was my battery on my my fire alarm. So I'm gonna have to go change that. Anyways, yeah, 2 hours 10 minutes. We went a little long, but hey, it was a fun show.
Yeah, man.
Next week we should have Jordan James back. We'll be talking conspiracy theories with you. And
yeah, oh geez, there's some really good movies coming out next week. I'm gonna have to flip a coin. We have Snake Eyes coming out next week, and
nice. Andrew Koji.
You know what? Maybe we'll put it to a vote. What movie I should review next week? Because we have the Snake Eyes movie, and we have M. Night Shyamalan's Old.
That one actually looks all right, but I just don't want it to be typical M. Night Shyamalan movie where it's good, but it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, let me ask you. Let you just say like or didn't like Village.
Didn't like.
I actually kind of liked it, but
yeah,
I see your point. Signs.
Liked.
See, didn't like.
Yeah, see, I like that one. I like the thrilling of it. Like I thought it was a good thriller, and I love Mel Gibson. So
the Devil. That's the one that takes place completely in the elevator.
Haven't seen it.
Not bad considering the whole movie takes place in an elevator.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Sixth Sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. You can only watch it once though, because then it's spoiled.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't think of any else right now. But yeah.
Well, there was which was the one with the mermaid?
Mermaid.
Didn't he have one with a fucking mermaid? Not the Village.
Well, the Unbreakable ones, of course.
Yeah, there's those ones. Those were good.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Glass yet, though. Believe it or not.
Oh no, really? Eh?
Yeah, I've seen the first two.
Glass. Yeah, I still think the other one was better.
Unbreakable.
No, what was the first one with
James McAvoy, where he's all of the different characters?
Right.
I forget that one was what that one was called.
That one was better than, but whatever.
Yeah. If that's true, some of the simulation sucks. Yeah, I bet.
Cincinnati Bengals, man.
Yeah. Kurt says old is what he wants you to do.
Old, yeah. That's I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan, and I always say that the last two G.I. Joe movies we got.
The only G.I. Joe movies we got.
The best scene in both of those movies was when they're battling on the cliffs with Snake Eyes.
Yeah. Well, I always say the best scene in either one of those movies is when Channing Tatum dies.
I knew you were going to say that.
Real talk. You know what? Listen, I know I am fucking hard as shit when it comes to Channing Tatum and his acting. But from everything I've read about the guy and everything I've seen about the guy, one of the most genuine and nicest guys in Hollywood, and seems like in real life as well. So I want to give him slack, but I just can't. I just can't. So I will give him props for being a really good dude and a really stand-up person and using his fame for all the right stuff and staying out of trouble and out of the headlines. But no, man, I'm so happy his Gambit movie did not go through. I tried to do a fucking Cajun accent for 2 hours and then like 3 other movies.
I definitely don't think he's an action star. He can't act well enough to be dramatic, but I got to say it's a guilty pleasure. I like him in a comedic role.
Well, you liked him in 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
What else?
There's something else. I know there is, but I can't think of it right now.
And if you're just going to say it's just that movie, This Is the End, where he's in the gimp suit, that doesn't count. Because it's literally fucking one scene and he doesn't say shit. And he's dressed like a gimp.
That was pretty awesome, though.
Luke says Snake Eyes looks awesome. I think it looks good. I think it looks like a really good, fun action movie. But but I also think it looks like it's going to be. We might have the same feelings we did after the first two, and I hate saying that because Andrew Koji's playing Storm Shadow on that, and he's the lead in Warrior. So
I liked the second one. I did.
Yeah, well, it was better. The one with Bruce Willis and The Rock.
Yeah.
And you killed off Channing Tatum. So I mean, I want a proper Zartan and the Dreadnoughts. Just saying. I'm just saying. Let us be the showrunners on these movies, man. That's it. Let 80s kids be in charge of them. Honestly. Because we know. We really do. So it's split so far. You got one for each. One for old, one for Snake Eyes. You might have to be the deciding factor there. Or
I'll see both.
maybe he'll have to see both. Amber!
I know she wants
all the time.
I know Amber's vote is going to be old. She wants to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. It's hard for me with M. Night Shyamalan. Like, there's so many hit or miss, right? You never know if it's going to be in your wheelhouse.
That was a really bad one with Mark Wahlberg. That was terrible.
I mean, name a Mark Wahlberg movie.
Oh, yeah. Where
He's getting close up there with Channing Tatum for me. If he didn't have roles where he played close to his fucking own character so often, where he's kind of a douchebag, then, I mean, he would be right up there with Channing Tatum for me for bad acting.
Right.
He's so good when he plays a douchebag. And he wasn't good in Ted. I don't care. Ted was funny. Doesn't mean he was good. It's like saying Will Ferrell's a good actor. Is he?
No.
He's funny.
But he's funny.
Exactly. Yeah, fuck. I'm surprised people are still sticking around. But they are here. I guess we can go. I don't know. We're just shooting the shit here anyways. But I guess that's it. I can't believe I didn't upload my commercial. But I started a commercial. You guys can go check it out for Electra Home. Me and my family that look like Uncle Phil and Will, basically. Mark Wahlberg is a great asthma playing actor. What are you talking about? I don't think so. Really? Yeah.
And I thought they smelled bad.
On the outside. Wait, how'd Harrison Ford get into here? But yeah, I guess that's it. Anyways, for the Wellandwingnut, it's your boy Zeus. Hope you all have a fantastic evening. We will see you next week with conspiracies. Peace.